So excited to just talk to you and just hear the amazing work that you do. And really, just apart from the work that you do, can you please tell us who is Michelle?
I have come from a background of entrepreneurship in a way. I suppose I've been running my own company for 22 years, servicing the tourism and media production industries. Specifically with documentary productions and as well as ecotourism charters. Sanitation. Water and sanitation should never be in the same organization, same department, same concept. We do not need water for sanitation. And in fact, water only creates more problems down the line. And we are literally spewing pollution in terms of waste water and black water and grey water into the sea, especially in Cape Town. And I decided that this was ridiculous and this was an opportunity to bring in products and shift the paradigm for people with regards to sanitation. So yeah, I shifted focus and the tourism and media company I left for my husband to take over and to run, and I started EcoSan. And primarily we started off with the EcoSan waterless toilet, which is a South African manufactured product. It's been on the market for 20 years. So I started bringing in more high-end products from Scandinavia, Sweden in particular. So they've got some really lovely products on the market. When I say lovely, I mean they're very high-end. They're porcelain. They look incredible. For now, the technology is coming from Sweden, but it's very easy to manufacture this wherever the need is. But basically, their technology is really much more advanced than we're getting there. We're getting there in South Africa. So I started bringing in Swedish products and looking at incinerating toilets that are made in America, and just looking at all the different options and bringing these products and the information in, because people, especially people from the higher income brackets, are not. They've always had the flush and forget system. So for them to start thinking about managing their own waste and having to deal with the slight inconvenience in inverted commas, of thinking about and being conscious about where their water's
coming from,
where the waste is going. Yeah. It's a mind shift. Really, it's just a mind shift. So yeah, that's basically where I am at.
So it goes back to then my next question. I understand the waste involved, right? The human waste in the whole system. And I wonder if in the whole operation or in the making of the product, the waterless toilet, if there's any waste in that regard.
I'm going to speak about the EcoSan waterless toilet because that's the one I know the most about, and it's manufactured in South Africa. So I can give you a little bit of a background. It's manufactured using LDPE, which is low density polyethylene. So it is a plastic product, which is not great. Plastic, in my opinion, is the scourge of the planet at the moment. but a big large portion of it is recycled LDPE. We only use, or the manufacturer only uses, a small portion of virgin material. In terms of waste, it's roto-molded, and I believe that the excess is simply melted down and reused again. So it is relatively low waste. I don't have the audits. I think that it's not a very, at this stage, it's not a very mass manufactured product. So I think we're still pretty low. We still have a pretty low footprint.
Just in explaining in detail how you guys maximize the concept of circularity in your product.
The whole product is, it's a self-contained unit. It takes the human waste and it dehydrates it, desiccates it, so that when it lands up in the container drum at the back, it's ready to, every couple of months, depending on how many users, it's ready to be emptied out into a designated compost trench. From there, it gets broken down further, and one then can use it in the soil, either as a soil conditioner or to fertilize plants or on grass, or whatever you need to use it for. It's got a wind turbine and a ventilation pipe, and it's no water, no electricity, no chemicals. I mean, you can add things like sawdust or organic material like leaves, something like that, if you like, but it's not necessary. And the ventilation process and the fact that the auger inside the product, inside the actual system, is turning by 5 degrees every time you open and close the lid. It's kind of tumble drying very slowly what's inside the actual drum, the auger.
A green economy is not only about environmental protection, but for the people in it as well. And for the people in it to enjoy decent livelihoods, job creation, and just all sorts of things that I can mention. And I'm interested to find out in your business operation how you guys advocate for staff to advance. It could be through capacity building or staff training.
So one of the pillars of the company is training and community involvement in the installations and in the maintenance of the systems. So the beauty about these systems is that they can be maintained by the users themselves, and that then allows communities to be invested in the systems. They don't have to wait for plumbers to come and fix a problem. They don't have to wait for a truck to come and suck out the waste and take it away. They can actually, again, if the product is used correctly and the systems are respected in terms of their biological processes, then they are able to, they actually don't need anybody else. They don't need an electrician or a plumber or even a builder to install them. They're very, very easy to install. So what we do is we go into a community, we need their buy-in, they need to be invested, it's very important. Otherwise, it's just imposing a system on people, which these communities have already had enough being imposed on them. They need to be involved. So we would go into a community, we would train people, educate people on how dry sanitation works and the circular economy and the benefits of it. And then we would train installation teams. So we actually spend quite a short, intense period in the community, and then we hand it over, and the community then takes over.
And how do you then ensure inclusivity within the communities that you work in?
With the resource treatment center development, we would be looking at mostly female-run small businesses where people would be able to come in and actually run the resource treatment centers themselves and actually take over. So it wouldn't be owned by us, it would be manufactured by us and installed, and then they would take over the operation. We work with so many different people and so many different organizations. Sanitation is something that is so crucial to humanity, and dignified sanitation and sustainable management of the sanitation. So whether it be government, whether it be NGOs, whether it be the person on the street, whether it be any community, there's no silver bullet, but there are ways of providing solutions that are dignified and that do not impact on the environment in the way that this current system is.
How do you guys then measure your impact?
You just need one person to feel like they are being heard and that their sanitation needs are being met and they have dignity. You know, you just see the smile on a school child's face when she can go to school and go to the loo, and when she's menstruating, she doesn't have to stay at home. I mean, there's concepts, you know, there's the period poverty concept where girls are staying away from school because there aren't any there aren't any facilities for them. And we need to change that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. Really appreciate you taking the time and just sharing your knowledge with us.